imaginary piece. Never in my life did I 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 imaginary piece.
Good morning, Predicted Trades family. Hope everybody's doing well. I hope you guys enjoyed our nice little intro video. From what I'm seeing, we got a little bit of the audio is jumping around, but I think I already know how to fix that. But just thought we'd put together a little video to be a nice intro and give you guys some something to look at while you're waiting for the stream to start. But we appreciate your feedback, so let us know what you think. We can always make improvements. Before we dive in, let's take a quick look at the economic calendar. Morning, D-Force. Morning, L. Excellent. Crypto Night. Bob, whoever is watching, good morning, good morning. Let's see. Today we do have a little bit coming out at 8:30. Productivity unit labor costs. We'll see if that has much of an impact. Tomorrow, that's the big one, CPI, before the bell. And we have a little bit of some Fed speakers later in the day. And then our jobless claims on Thursday and University of Michigan sentiment on Friday. Big one's going to be CPI tomorrow. Never really know how it'll go until we see the reaction. Let's see, futures slipping a little bit this morning. We were holding up well at our zone. That should be support. We've started to slip through a little bit pre-market, but it is low volume, right? And we do have some economic data coming out in 15 minutes that could bounce us right back up. We are approaching the daily 8 in the bottom of this, was that 30-minute squeeze? 4-hour squeeze, because I'm on a 4-hour chart. There we go. Let's drop this down a little lower. But I wanted to start on that 4-hour chart to at least say, if we connect kind of our wicks from our lows on this drive up, we are approaching that pre-market, and you can see it crosses right over that daily 8. So we could likely be coming down to test this daily 8, this trend line. We could even slip slightly to tag this zone of support that allowed us to bounce multiple times. Ultimately looking for us to catch that bounce, get back above the daily 8 and push back to 41.36.5, which is our new POC. That's right, yesterday we spent so much time at 41.36.5 that POC stepped up from that 41.20 to there. So let's see if we slip down to tag daily 8 in this little zone of support, this trend line. Ultimately looking for it to get back above, push through POC, and head back up to our key levels above. Overall, the thesis is very similar to yesterday, although we opened kind of high and went up and tagged some of those levels. Now we're opening right in the middle of our zone. So basically, as long as we can hold, looking for us to get back to our levels above, if we start to break the daily 8, this trend line, this zone, then I'll be looking for a reversion to the mean. The mean sits down at about 40.40. The daily 15 sits right at that, in between that 40.56, 40.71. So, pretty simple. If we start to break this zone, 4100, we'll likely get a quick accelerant down to the daily 21, daily 15. But we are in a nice bullish trend. We are basically coming down to test things. If we look over on our 4-hour with our moving averages, you can also see that that 45 is intersecting the same trend line. So we could slip down to tag all these items, catch our bounce back through 41.36.5 up to these things. But if we slip through all of these items, we are changing trend and can get that reversion to the mean. Drop back down real quick. Just to see that we do have a 1-hour, 2-hour, and 4-hour all in place. Looks like we are at the bottom of that 1-hour now. So let's see if it can hold us, or if we slip outside of it just enough to tag some things and then come back up. We could sit down in this 2-hour, 4-hour squeeze bottom, for a while. That would basically allow for this 1-hour to fire down into this 2-hour, 4-hour. But then could still bounce up. So yeah, pretty simple. Let's see if squeeze bottoms, key items like key levels, trend line, and daily moving averages can provide a bounce. POC up above at our 4136.5. So hopefully we can get our feet, get some momentum, and then straight to POC, and hopefully magnet to cannon can carry us right back up to our key levels above. If you notice, yesterday in prep we talked about how we could, since we are pushing nicely up towards these key levels and squeeze tops, that we could have an early morning pop straight to all of those and then come back. We talked about, basically running into all these items, these squeeze tops, these key levels, then shorting back to at least a VWAP of this 4165. It kept going down to our zone. So we caught some nice longs for about the first half hour to an hour. Then we shorted back. And sometimes we need to let that play out longer. The first target on shorting was VWAP, then this 4165. But we should always leave some runners for if that gives out and it carries further to the next key level and zone. Some of the puts that we called out yesterday, I'm trying to remember, I think the 4150s went something like $1.90 to $19-20, so there was a full 10x there. But you had to catch it right up near the top in our zone, and then you had to hold it until it got down to the 4136.5. So let's see today if our squeeze bottoms key items can hold, send us back through POC to head up, or if we lose all that support and head back down to key levels and moving averages below. In Q. And Q a little closer to the daily 8. Already slipping Friday's low. Yeah, you could almost make a little zone here. I'm going to do it just for fun. And extend that forward. There we go. So we got a little zone of support from last Tuesday's high and Friday's low. That's all falling right where this daily 8 is. So basically looking for NQ to hold all these items. If it really has to dip maybe to 13,000 and then back in. But once it starts breaking 13,000, I'm going to start looking at possible reversion of the mean, right? And in all reality, just getting back to the daily 21. It doesn't go last week. But that's about it. And that daily 21 catching up to that 12,690. If we can hold this daily 8, this little shaded region of support, these squeeze bottoms, looking for us to rebound right back up. Looks like POC is sitting around 271. Oh yeah, POC's sitting way back up. Above. So let's see if we can hold everything, magnet up to POC, and then carry back up to our key levels above. We did arrive there yesterday, but we got that rejection. Got through one, rejected the other. And just to talk, about rejections and when it is time to short, this is the kind of thing you want to see. You know, we get to a key level, we push to the next, we resist and come back down, and then we pop up to retest that zone bottom, but fail and reject. That's a great spot to start shorting, where you've already gotten some confirmation, and write it on down. We're also at this key 13,100. So let's see if we want to dip to the bottom of this zone, hold the daily 8, get back above 100. That would be a great spot to go long, especially if we like hit the 8, get above 100, come back to test 100 and hold, and then start moving. That's a great confirmation to go long back to POC at least, kind of in the middle of these squeezes, and then back to squeeze top. On the ready, basically let's see if it can hold its squeeze bottoms. The second Keltner up, yesterday's lows, all kind of lining up to make a little pocket of support. If we can bounce from there, I'm trying to get back up to that 1950 and to push past it to that third Keltner up. If we start to lose the squeeze bottom, Keltner, and yesterday's lows from cash session, we do have POC down below at 1909, basically sitting with this daily 8. So Ready could be a good gauge for today. As we've seen, Ready can start to make the move first. You know, it can fully start breaking down while the other indices are holding up, but then they end up rolling. So let's see. Ready could be a good gauge if it starts to lose this daily Keltner and squeeze bottom and fire down. Basically, ultimately this 1930, if it loses it, rejects it, we'll probably go right down to that daily 8 and POC. YM. YM looks like it is, yeah, basically right at POC, a hair above it. Which isn't a bad thing. So, let's see if we got POC, yeah, right about here. So let's see if we can hold POC. We could slip down into the squeeze bottom and yesterday's lows, but looking for those to hold on YM. Basically call it 37.25. If that can hold, push back through POC, back to key level above. We do have some pre-market levels to get through before we get there. If we start to lose that 725, we could go quickly down to this 650, where daily Keltner and daily 8 sit. Also have our squeeze bottom there. Likely the 2 hour, yep. If we lose that, down to the 4 hour, that daily 15, daily 21, pretty far below. Kind of outside an ATR's reach to get back to the 21 today. Apple. No, there we go. Okay, at least we're loading quicker. Let's see, on Apple, daily 8, probably going to be stepping up to about this 163. Friday's pre-market low, cash session low, and that midday bounce point should all provide some support in this squeeze bottom. If we start to lose 163, where that daily 8 should be stepping up to, we could, and you know, we start rolling, market starts rolling, probably coming back to that 160, 159.5. If we can hold 163, looks like we've got pocket about 165. So if we can hold 163, back through 165, in a bid to get back to that 167, 168. AMD trying to hold this key level, or key zone. Tapped that daily 8 yesterday. That daily 8 is likely going to be stepping into the middle of this zone. So let's see if this zone can hold us up. If not, AMD likely coming back to 96, 95, and the daily 15 and 21 will be stepping up to, about 94, and this 93. Amazon. We've got some squeeze bottoms here that could hold Amazon up at 138 and 137. But if we slip through those, this daily 8 is likely going to be stepping up pretty close to this 4-hour squeeze bottom. So we could slip down to tap all those and find our feet before heading back up. If the daily 8 and that 4-hour squeeze bottom 137 give out, we're likely back to this daily Keltner around 134. And the daily 15 is probably going to be stepping up to about 130. 21 to about 128. Let's see, trying right now to hold yesterday's lows. But yeah, looking for squeeze bottoms to hold. See where that daily 8 lands, should be near it or in it. And if we can hold, we do have pocket 140, 139.6. So we can hold there, back through POC, back above 140, in a bid to get to that 144, 145, and that daily, what do we got? Is that a 100 or a 200? Come on. Probably the 200, if I had to guess. Yep, daily 200, up above at 145. BA, like we talked about yesterday, we just needed to not tank and go below our little zone here of 162.3, 163.8. We can see all of our squeezes are stacked there. So basically, if BA can continue to hold above this, the market can continue to move up. If BA starts to lose squeeze bottom and this key level, we'll likely see whole market do a reversion to mean. But definitely range bound with a lot of squeezes stacking in. So play that range till it breaks if you're trading BA. CAT, basically stuck to all those moving averages. Squeezes are setting in. If it starts to lose 184, likely coming down to this 183, then 181, 180. But if it can hold up at that 184 or 183, could start coming back in a bid to get back to 187, 188, fire these squeezes up, get back through these key levels and that daily 50. Google. Still holding above, 115. Looks like daily 8 is going to be coming in to right about where we are and going to be opening on Google. Let's see if it wants to dip down to 116. Maybe even this pre-market low around 115.75-ish. See if that 25-cent range from 15.75 to 16 can provide support if we do dip down into the squeeze cloud. If that can hold, we have POC up at 118, way up at that squeeze top. Yeah, well, a little below that squeeze top. So, and a little 3 pre-market high. So let's see if we can hold, push back through POC to get back to 119, 120. should that 1575 give out, we could roll back to the daily 21, which will probably be stepping up a hair above 114.5 today. GS holding up nicely, trying to hold above POC pre-market. Could open, tap POC and take off. If it starts to lose POC, probably down to the daily 8 and that 330. JPM always makes a nice move, then does nothing. Stuck to those moving averages. And as long as it can just stay around those moving averages, maybe it can catch its feet and bounce back up. If it gives out, likely going to engulf this right back down to 112. Meta. I had some relative strength early, gave some back, but closed, a little higher than it opened. Gapping down with the market a little, so let's see if that 168 can hold. If we do have a little dip, if that 168 gives out, likely coming down to 165, squeeze bottom for a test. If 168 can hold, we could see again some relative strength to get it back through that daily 50 to try and head back up to these wicks. 175 daily squeeze up here a little north of 180. But if we can't hold moving averages or the squeeze bottom, we do still have POC apparently down at 160 with that first Keltner down on Meta. Microsoft. Had a nice pop in the morning, but then basically straight down all day and barely bounced. A little lower today with the gap down. Let's see if this daily 8 squeeze bottom can hold it and provide it a nice bounce back up through 280, 282, 284, 85. We do have pocket about 282.5. So as long as we can hold that daily 8 squeeze bottom, we could get right through POC to squeeze top. If we start to give out the daily 8 and squeeze bottom, we do have the 21 and 15, and going to be around 272 today. Netflix, really strong yesterday, held up decently, a little gap down. So as long as market can find its feet and start to bounce, we could see another strong morning for Netflix. Looking for it to hold that 230, kind of yesterday's pre-market high. As long as it can hold there, we can bounce right back up to the second Keltner and squeeze tops around 235. Should that 230 give out, we do have POC down at 226, with the daily 8. NVIDIA had that early earnings release, still looking weak, on a date with, it looks like it's on a trajectory for a date with that daily 50, maybe even that first Keltner down. Not a lot of interest here. After something like this, it's going to need time to settle. It's back at all these daily moving averages, so let it settle. QQQ. Having a little bit of a gap down. And at least we're starting a nice bounce already off of that economic data. QQQ. This daily 8 likely about to step up to about 318. We could slip down to tap 318 and squeeze bottom at daily 8. All together now at after open. If we can hold there, we could bounce back up. We have pocket 322, kind of some of our pre-market highs. Actually, a little bit above that. Yep, near the squeeze top. I'm assuming 1 hour, then 2 hour, 4 hour. So if we can hold all these stacked squeezes, that daily 8, which will be stepping up this key level, all around 318, we could catch a nice bounce, get 2 through POC, and start taking out 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour squeeze top. If we give out that 318, the first target is at 316.25, where we could slip outside of squeezes and catch a bounce. But if we give that out, we could likely head back to that 311. That daily 15 going to be stepping up near it. That daily 21 likely going to be around 309, 310. Roku has had some relative strength in the mornings and, had a good run last week. Sitting at all of these daily moving averages. POC's still way back down at this daily squeeze bottom. So not loving Roku. Likely will stay in this range around these moving averages and in this 2 hour squeeze. If the 2 hour squeeze bottom starts to give up and Friday and Monday's lows start to give up on Roku, we could see it vacuum down quickly to POC and that squeeze bottom around 70. Shop already starting to lose its $40 support. We do have POC up there. Let's see if Shop can hold the daily 8 squeeze bottoms, try to push back through POC, back above 40. To get back to 42, 43, squeeze tops. If we start to give out, call it 38.5. Probably coming right back down to the daily 21. SPX. Let's see, SPX filled its gap yesterday. We do still have a couple of gaps below, and that daily 8 is stepping up. We close around 41.40. We'll be having just a teensy gap down. So let's see if SPX wants to take a dip to that 41.18, 41.20. We'll likely be seeing this daily 8 sitting right there as well. And we do have a few squeeze bottoms there as well. So let's see if we take a quick little dip to tag some of those levels and then take off again to the upside. If we start to lose that daily 8, that 41.18, 41.20, we could slip down to fill these gaps. But there's plenty of times where we hit a gap fill and it is support, right? So we could hit these gap fills and bounce if we give out that daily 8 and start to slip into this gap. Getting down to like 41.08, 41.05, and then we could just slip through both gaps, to fill both gaps. We do have the daily 21 down at 40.26, 40.50 for the 15. Targets to keep an eye on. If we could hold squeeze bottoms, daily 8, get going back to the upside. 41.65 will be where that second Keltner is. We got our key levels up above that we rejected yesterday on SPY. SPY back above yesterday's low. Let's see if it wants to retest it during the cash session. We could even slip down to this zone at the bottom of this squeeze, which did provide support on Friday for SPY after that economic data. But we could just hold here after this 1 hour squeeze bottom tap. That's probably a 2 hour, because here's the 1 hour. So, watch pre-market low, see if we want to go back and retest it. If we start to lose pre-market low, we could slip right down to this zone for support. If we can hold pre-market low or the squeeze bottom, this 1 hour, we could push back to 114. We do have POC a few cents above 114. And let's see, 2 hour squeeze top at about, 1 hour squeeze top at around 115. 2 hour, 4 hour squeeze tops back at 416 up to our key zone above. But POC sits pretty much right at this 414. So let's see if we can get our feet, then push back to and through POC. We could also push up, reject POC, come back down, and push lower. Tesla. So this 865 going to be key for now on Tesla. We sold to it, closed pretty much at it, gapped up, fought back to that daily 200 yesterday, and that daily Keltner, ultimately rejecting those, heading back to daily 8. And that 865 did not quite tap it yesterday. Trying to settle at it this morning. If 865 starts to give out, we'll test Friday's low, which is right in the middle of that, between 865 and that 848. So let's see if 865 can hold us. If not, we're going to hit Friday's low for a test. If that gives out down to 848, where that daily 15 will be stepping up near. If we can find our feet. Ooh, we do have POC up at 909. And basically where that daily 200 sits. So if we can find our feet, get back above the daily 8, then it could be a nice push to 900, 910, where that POC and the daily 200 sit. On VIX. One thing we want to be aware of, we're in a nice down trend on VIX, but we could easily start to scoop back up, right? So what that would look like is getting back above 22, this daily 8, fighting to 22.5, this daily 15, pushing through this squeeze top to get back to the daily 21 and 23.3, which would spell kind of a rollover in the market. But if VIX can remain under 22, reject the squeeze top, start heading back down to 21 and squeeze bottoms, then we can see the market hold its squeeze bottoms and head back up to POC. And now our second Keltner down is arriving at 20. Ooh, and our daily squeeze bottom is also arriving at 20. Where's the top of it? Okay, it's up, hugging this second Keltner up. So yeah, if we do, roll over and get a reversion of the mean, we will see VIX continue this up channel, push through the 815 back to the 21. If that starts to happen, ultimate goal would be seeing VIX get back to this daily 200, which is caught up to that 24.5. And that's if the market rolls over. But if we want to hold and keep trying to push higher, want to see us reject these squeeze tops. We could even pop up to this 22.5 for a stiff rejection and then back down. But ultimately, we would like to see it stay under this daily 8, this squeeze top, and reject and start to head lower back to 21 to see a continuation to the upside. Hopefully this was helpful for everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you guys in the chat. Good luck today.